Hi, welcome to this week's weekly sim racing news roundup, and kicking things off, Automobilista 2 has had a follow-up update, so this is now up to version 1.1.4.0, and this kind of really is their follow-on to the first anniversary update. And we've got a new car in this, and it's another one that really does look at unique vehicles, or very unique, I'll use that word, why not, vehicles within motorsport history, and in this case it's the Brabham BT46B, a name that doesn't really slip off the tongue, but it's a common name. It's also known as the Brabham fan car, and really was quite an intriguing car when it first came out. Contrary to popular belief, it was never banned. It was withdrawn by Bernie Ecclestone. He basically, I think he used it in one race. Well, no, he did use it in one race, the Swedish Grand Prix of 78, and it absolutely annihilated everything else on track with Niki Lauda behind the wheel. And this was back, the 70s, when you could basically throw a huge amount of money at just a great big screw you to everybody else. This is what we can do before retiring a car, but we can now take it for a spin in Automobilista 2. I've had a hideously busy week, so I have been trying to put a video together around it. I'll see what I can do in regard to that to look at it in a bit more detail. There are a few other tweaks in there. Actually, there's quite a lot of tweaks in there, and I'll link to those down below so that you can take a look at all of them. Moving on from that, we've had the rest of Nacon's racing week, or race week, and the first one, I actually missed this last week. I think it came out on the cusp of when I was putting the video together, and that is Rims Racing. So this is Nacon's really attempt to take on the utterly massive milestone ride series. Now, this is planned for release in August, around about the 19th of August. It's billed as a full-blown sim, and it's interesting, but it's very sparse in what it's looking at. So, I mean, just look at it, we get 8 bikes in it, so that's not a huge amount at all, not when you consider the massive volume that's in the ride series. We've also got a lot of upgrades, so 500 official parts is what they're saying, 200 official equipment items to personalise your rider. You've got, they're not saying exactly what it is, but real-time analysis of every element of the bike's behaviour is in there, and they're saying we're going to have 10 faithfully recreated official circuits, and for those who prefer roads, 5 routes in the stunning landscapes of the United States, Norway, Australia, Spain and Italy have been recreated for a different racing experience on 2 wheels. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out in terms of rims over the next few months up till launch. So it looks interesting, but being perfectly honest, if it's a full price title, it's going to be expensive and not a lot of content, and I get a feeling that's going to put a lot of people off. We've then got the final one in Nacon's canon of what they're pushing out of this racing week, and arguably this is the one that's got people the most excited, and unfortunately was the most misleading. I'll come on to that in a second. So this is Test Drive Unlimited's Solar Crown. They've released their first trailer for this. Now it's basically a fully CGI head-to-head featuring an Aston DB11 and a Range Rover SVR, and it's all non-in-game footage. It's very fancy. It's showing off the kind of glamorous lifestyle and hedonistic stuff that the Test Drive series has always been famed for, but it doesn't really give us a great deal more info. I'll link to the GT Planet article down below, which digs into exactly what we can see in the trailer, but it's not giving us a great deal of info. And misleadingly, in my opinion, the trailer ends with next chapter, July 2021, which got a lot of people initially, and I'll admit to this was me as well, thinking that this was the release date for it. next chapter in the Test Drive Unlimited series, blah, blah, blah. No, apparently the next chapter bit is simply when we're going to be getting new info on Test Drive Unlimited. So look around. So kind of like, woo, it's coming out in July. No, that's just more info. So we'll see what's going to be joining that gameplay-wise alongside all of the heavily rendered luxury clothes, accessories and smartwatches that are in the trailer. Hopefully some more info on where it is and what the cars are will be good. And then finally in the news roundup we have MotoGP 21. So this has been released. It actually came out yesterday, the 22nd, across all platforms. Actually, I don't know if it's out on Switch yet or whether that's one that will be coming out soon on Switch, but I've got it across all. It's available across all of the platforms at the present moment. Touted as the most authentic MotoGP experience yet. I have picked it up on PC, mainly because I picked it up cheap, and in all honesty, I've not had an official MotoGP title to mess around with in quite a few years, so I thought I'd give this one a go. I haven't really had a great deal of time to play around with it other than do a few tutorials at the moment. It looks nice, but it's early days, so hopefully I'll post a bit more info on that soon. Now, speaking of that, there may not be a weekly sim racing news roundup next week because I'm actually on holiday for a week and heading to the Welsh mountains for a week where internet connectivity can be patchy and where you have it not exactly of high speed. So whilst I can probably put a video together, whether I can get it uploaded or not is entirely different matter. So we'll see what I can do there. So I may skip a week or it may just be a few days late when I get back. And in terms of what content you've been watching here, well, this is actually something I really enjoyed putting together. So finally, thanks to Legion, we have a more modern interpretation of a Formula Ford in Assetto Corsa. It's always, to me, been a bit of an odd omission. They're absolutely brilliant cars, Formula Fords, always have been. That open cockpit formula, but without either slicks or wings. So the wings and slicks formula gone, it's pure mechanical grip, and this car is actually rather blatantly taken from Project Cars, but the one thing it does right is it sticks road tyres on there rather than slicks on there, and this completely changes the character of the car. Now, I've always really enjoyed the Formula Fords, or Formula Juniors as they're called, in the Project Car series, but they had too much mechanical grip. With the road bias tyres that are on this Formula Ford, which is what they should have, what they have in reality. I've driven a number of these over the years. I've watched these things race more times than I can count. This is getting it to the levels of mechanical grip you should have, which means you've got to be far more careful in balancing the cars. I mean, for a lot of people, these are either an alternative step into Formula racing than karts or a follow-on from karts in that regard. And, they're supposed to react in a similar way. You've got grip, twitch, and you've got to learn to handle a car on the limit, and that's what this model does extremely well. It's really good fun to drive, and I strongly recommend you try it out. And as for a place to try it out, well, what could be better than the updated version of Thruxton? Now, Thruxton is one of 3 tracks I've got within less than an hour's drive of where I live, and it's probably the one of those 3, which are Thruxton, Castle Combe and Silverstone, that I've driven the most. And this is an updated version of Thruxton, and it was interesting because I last drove Thruxton October last year, and this is a really close model to it, certainly in terms of the visuals, the look and the layout, the new tarmac that's been laid down. This is incredibly accurate to that, and it's well worth tracking out. Also drives extremely well, and the combination of the two just works absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, there we go. That's this week's Sim Racing News Roundup. As always, links are all down below. Thanks very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this, please do hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much. Take care.